It is day 11, and as we start to head home, we have some things to see in the pueblos of New Mexico, as well as El Morro National Monument, which is also indigenous land. After a good hike to see ancient ruins and stunning views, we scramble back down the mountain to get on the road before the desert monsoons hit. We will head west through Navajo Nation and Zuni Pueblo before hitting the Arizona border and eventually our motel in Show Low. For whatever reason, the cameras are back out to start day 11, especially after the short jaunt on Interstate 40 west of Albuquerque. As trucks and other cross-country traffic sail past at high speed, we learn that there is a lot to see at slower paces, even when stepping past the old Route 66, which brings its share of tourists. Just like when we were visiting Pine Ridge in South Dakota a few days ago, and San Carlos in Arizona on a previous trip, we noticed that infrastructure is once again lacking in many places inside of reservations. The United States government likes to say that these nations make their own decisions and have their own laws, but the reality of this is almost complete neglect from what is still today an occupying force. This part of New Mexico is populated by quite a large number of pueblos, each a sovereign indigenous nation. Pueblo is obviously a term left over from Spanish colonialism, but fairly common to use in practice today. Some of these seem fairly insular, others have tourist brochures and welcome people to cultural centers. Our main takeaway is that we are not spending nearly enough time in this area, and as we have conversations with people during meals or at post offices, future plans are already starting to form. After just driving through the Pueblo communities that parallel Interstate 40 and Route 66, we eventually come to Acoma Pueblo, eat some delicious food loaded with New Mexico green chiles, and learn more about their history over fry bread stuffed with eggs and sausage. The post office here is also built in the traditional style you can find if you visit what brochures now call Acoma Sky City, the traditional pueblo that has occupied its place atop a sheer sandstone bluff for almost 900 years. We already miss Acoma Pueblo as we head west to Grants and then cut south on New Mexico State Road 53. We will be on this highway for the rest of our time to the Arizona border, passing through El Pais Conservation Area and then stopping to explore El Morro National Monument. There are 2 hikes at the monument, but make sure to pick up the guide to the Inscription Rock Trail for $2 in the visitor center before setting out. This gives explanations for all the inscriptions you will see on the sheer rock faces above the watering hole that so many stopped at on their travels through the desert. Summer monsoon rainfalls filter conveniently here, making the pool reliable at all times of year. The other hike is mildly strenuous and takes us to the top of the bluff, where we get some ridiculously beautiful views of New Mexico along the way. At the top is the ancestral Puebloan village called Atsinna. The Zuni people that lived here were master builders, and their 750-year-old half-buried pit houses are still visible and in good shape today. The full headland trail is closed, so we cannot complete the loop, but just as well as we see a summer monsoon approaching fast and scramble back down to the visitor center. Mexico and Arizona, quickly developing storms like these are common in summer, forming because of daytime heat. As we drive west towards Arizona, we see downpours and big dark clouds in all directions. Okay, so day 12 was another day with just an unprofessional amount of filming, as we make our way through Arizona and home to Los Angeles. It is the morning after Biden's now infamous debate debacle, so we get to overhear gleeful Trump fans at breakfast in Payson. Then I stop by the nation's second smallest post office in Happy Jack, and even meet the woman in charge. She shows me the interior and tries to dig up even more materials than are posted on their bulletin boards. You can tell this is a very special place to the small number of community members that use it. We have some more really nice wine in Page Springs, followed by Sonoran food in Clarkdale, and a hot drive up through Jerome, which turned into a very hot drive as we descended from the high desert and onto California. Although we are ready to sleep in our own beds, we also start missing the road before we are off it. We have learned so much on this trip, seen so many things. I am also glad we tried making as many videos as we could, and know that in a few years, and again a few years after that, we will really enjoy watching our travels again in this form. I would say there is a good chance we do this again the next time we travel, whether that is hitting the road again or traveling overseas. Hope to see you all out there.